Okay, there we go. For some reason, StreamYard didn't want to work. Happy Thursday, everybody. I just had a very crazy travel day. Clearly, my hair. I was getting Marley to my parents' house because, as you all know who watch the show, I leave for Aruba tomorrow. So I needed to get the dog here so she could be house set. However, Uber had other plans because Uber decided to cancel on me while I'm in the middle of the rain looking for it. It decided while I'm carrying a suitcase, a big duffel bag, another bag, plus the dog who's 50 pounds. I'm running around out in the city looking for this stupid Uber who canceled on me. So then I end up being stuck in the rain for 15 minutes to be stuck in traffic in New York City for another 45 minutes in what was a 20-minute Uber ride to Grand Central Station. End up going 45 minutes to the train. Didn't even make it to the express train, so got stuck on the hour-long local train to finally get here about 5 minutes ago. So I just walked in the door to my parents' house. We made it though, 5 o'clock. We made it. Can't believe it. I texted Mark Zinno earlier, who's coming on in about 7 minutes. I said, I'm going to text you. I probably will make it, but in case I'm late, I will be there, and I need Zinno. So Zinno's coming on to talk some college football. He's going to talk NFL, Thursday Night Football with us. We got an NBA play as well. And then Colin Sheehan going to join the show. A good friend of my friend Sam Paniatovich. Someone referred me to him for the Breeders' Cup about 3 weeks ago already. So it's been 3 weeks in the making getting someone on for ponies. So Breeders' Cup coming up this weekend, and we're going to be joined by Colin Sheehan, who literally I've been told is very good at what he does. So I know that it's not Samich, which is what Mark was asking for, but I heard that this guy is very legit, and I think he's watching right now. So Colin Sheehan, he sent me like this novel of stuff that he's betting, and he goes, do you want me to simplify it? Do you want me to complicate it? I'm like, we're going to do both. So for everybody in the chat who loves ponies, he's going to get very complex for you. And for the people that don't know ponies, we're going to simplify it for you. I know nothing about ponies. I know nothing about the Breeders' Cup. All I know is that I tail winners, and that is what we're going to do, is tail some winners today. I have not been to San Diego yet. I haven't really been to California outside of Napa Valley. So no, that has not been on my, but I will do it. Yes, ponies. I refer to it as ponies. Trey Young rolled out today, by the way. I refer to it as ponies because I just think it's funny and I think it's cute. Like, I think ponies are really cute. What am I supposed to say? Horsies? Ponies is very hard to win. Oh, you're going to the Breeders' Cup, EC Money? That's so cool. So you definitely need some action from Colin today. He's going to come on at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll talk some ponies. First, the World Series. How about those Toronto Blue Jays? Mark, congratulations to those Jays. It's amazing. I made a video about this yesterday. I said it's pretty cool how baseball works because, in the NFL, you got one and done. One and done. And there's Colin in the chat, so you guys could start hitting him up. Colin Sheehan in the chat. He's writing on the YouTube page. So it's kind of crazy in baseball because we went from an 18-inning game where the Dodgers, surprise, surprise, end up winning by a Freddie Freeman walk-off, thinking everyone in the chat's like, oh, Toronto's done. There's no way you come back from that. That is a horrible thing to have to come back from. Sure enough, Toronto Blue Jays, back-to-back, winning in LA. That is insane to win back-to-back games in LA. So the Blue Jays are now up 3-2 on the Los Angeles Dodgers, going back to Toronto tomorrow with a chance to win a World Series for the first time since the early 90s. I just can't. I mean, it's crazy. Also, the Dodgers are this good that we still might have this jinx in baseball about a back-to-back champ. I knew I had something on my eye. So it's Yoshinobu Yamamoto tomorrow. I've got a strikeout prop to give you guys since I won't be on the show tomorrow, but Mid-Major Matt will be. I've got a strikeout prop to give you for Prop Queen Edges of the Day for tomorrow's World Series. And then I've also got Thursday Night Football. My Baltimore Ravens. Lamar is back, baby. Lamar is back. No NBA today because until I get back from Aruba, I really don't care. No offense to the association, but it is a nightmare to handicap. Plays have been doing okay, but while I'm on vacation for the next 2 weeks, it's going to be NFL. And the days that aren't NFL, I'll probably either do a little bit of NBA, but we'll see. You guys are doing Waddle over receiving yards, Daniel, tonight. What else? Yamamoto's been so good, but I don't trust him in an elimination game. I don't really trust any pitcher going back to back against the same lineup, to be honest. There is somewhat of sports betting in Aruba. So there's kiosks at some of the hotels, like the Marriott does have a kiosk that you could bet. And the cool thing about in Aruba, the sports betting, is a lot of the times they don't move the numbers fast enough. So I'll be able to get some really good lines. Sometimes it's bad lines, but sometimes you get really good lines because I'll get there. Let's say I go to the Marriott on a Saturday night to bet something for Sunday. The line from like Thursday or Wednesday will still be on the kiosk. So I definitely can do that. The thing is, they don't let you do 2-leg teasers. You have to do 3-leg teasers. But sometimes I do get decent odds to the point that I'm like, oh, okay, well, that line doesn't exist in America anymore. So at least I'll take a 3-leg teaser for fun. But yeah, that's the problem with the teasers there. Not a lot of props, though. Mostly blackjack. We play a lot of blackjack. I'm going to be playing blackjack probably every night for the next 2 weeks. So good luck to me. And the worst part is normally when I go to Aruba, I'm there 1 week and I'm there with my family and I play pretty like conservatively. And we go to like the $10 or the $5 tables. Like they have really cheap tables. $10 table, actually, I think it is. So we have a good time. But now Kelly's coming the second week. And that means now I have to really make sure I save my money for the second week. Because the first week, whatever, like my parents don't care. The second week, I definitely have to save that blackjack money. But let's start making money tonight because we've got Thursday night football between the Dolphins and the Ravens. We've got college football coming up. We've got a World Series game coming up. And we've got some NBA. And that's why we're bringing on my good friend Mark Zinno to talk about all of those things. Hi, Zinno. I'm glad I made it.
Yeah, I'm glad you made it too. I'm glad I am your. Am I the last one of the last guests post or pre-vacation?
You are. You're the second to last guest pre-vacation.
And nothing like starting your vacation with me. God.
Well, today I definitely need a vacation after that commute today, and I got yelled at by the conductor because Marley was in a seat. And I just think that Marley on a seat takes up less space than her on the floor because no one wants to sit with the dog at their feet. So at least her on the seat allowed for someone to sit like in a chair with no one at their seat, like whatever.
Right.
And she was sitting so quietly. There's a crying baby behind me. And I know you have 2 little boys, not little anymore, but younger boys. And like this baby's crying behind me. And I understand babies are humans. My dog's sitting so quietly, like bothering nobody, tucked in a corner in a window. I'm like, you're gonna make a big deal over my dog? She's good.
I want to make that into a shirt. I understand babies are humans. Ariel Epstein.
They are humans, but they cry and they can be annoying. And my dog was sitting very silently on the train doing nothing. So why are you getting annoyed at my dog?
Because people got to be. They got to complain about something. Like if you're not, are you even living if you're not complaining anymore? Is that?
I guess not. I was actually trying to be like a nice, respectable person on social media, and it turns out when I complain, I get more likes and views. So.
All right. Well,
Let's talk sports.
Let's do it. I'm here.
My Ravens play tonight. Ravens and Dolphins. I know you're going prop.
I am going. The reason I'm going prop is this. I believe the Ravens are on the right side. I believe the number is correct. I don't want to lay 7.5.
It's really hard to lay 7.5 on the road with the team who's getting their quarterback back from injury.
And the guy who's coming back from injury, I have no idea. So what do? I look to every alternate market I could find. Team total 30.5. Oh God. Like, yes, can the Ravens score 30 on this defense? Yes. Full optimal Ravens? Yes, they can. But what if Lamar struggles for the first half, right? Like, what if things are off, timing's off? It's not all clicking. And so that first half total, over 14.5, I'm like, same problem. What if Lamar needs 2 quarters to get going? And then all of a sudden, they only get to 13 in the first half, but yet they score 25 in the second, go over the 30.5. Like, so I couldn't get comfortable with any number in any market. So I went to the prop market. Do we trust the Ravens to hand the ball to Derrick Henry? All I can tell you is this. Since Lamar went out, they faced weak run defenses before, and that didn't help them hand the ball to Derrick Henry anymore. Somebody said to me, because I asked, are we seeing Derrick Henry like take the turn down? Because he looks like he's slower this year. He's other than week 1 when
listen. Everyone talked about the Saquon foot off the gas because of all the overusage last year. Derrick Henry was right behind him.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. And next year, Jonathan Taylor would be the guy to fade because
Correct.
when he hits 2,000 yards at some point this season and doesn't win the MVP, yeah. I mean,
Also, why give the ball to Derrick Henry all these last few weeks when your team, first of all, was dumb enough to start Cooper Rush under center? You were losing anyway. Lamar's back. I like it. I know Miami has had a rough time stopping the run. However, they've also had a rough time against other positions. So which one are you attacking?
we're going to go Isaiah Likely. Look, this is interesting because, believe it or not, this is the first game these two guys have played together this year. Likely was injured the
It's
first
the first time the whole offense is on the field.
Right. Lamar was injured from week 3 on. This number is a very depressed number, Ariel, at 21 and a half. The last time these two guys played in a game together, his Likely's yardage reception total was at 32 and a half. So we're down 11 yards here. We know the connection is there between Likely and Lamar. We might be able to get all this.
Time.
Yeah, we might be able to get all this in one shot here. So I think he'll get multiple receptions tonight. I know.
How come you chose Likely between him and Andrews?
Because I saw an interview with Likely boasting about how excited he was to have Lamar back. And not only that, his usage rate the last 2 weeks has gone up over the last 2 weeks, even with Mark Andrews in the fold. I know it was other quarterbacks, but his usage rate percentage of, on the field snaps has gone up the last 2 weeks. So he's going to be on the field even more. The chemistry is there. And when I hear a guy openly talk to the media about how excited he is to have the quarterback back, well, that means to me that he knows he's going to get the football, and he didn't get the football the last 2 weeks. He's been a ghost since he came back, understandably, because there's no Lamar. So I didn't text you about this ahead of time. I actually did that on purpose because I wanted your raw reaction. And not only that, when I text you about a prop and you tell me about something and I'm excited about it and you're not, I go, oh.
I am excited. I just couldn't decide between him or Andrews because when I was looking at all the tight ends to face Miami this year, whenever there's, let's just say 11 personnel on the field, or let's just say it is these two tight end sets type of offenses, I looked back at this season, one goes over and one goes under. That scared me. I looked at prime time. They both equally have had good prime time games. They both equally have had good games against Miami. I know that we are at the Isaiah Likely is due portion of the season. He has not had a big week. He's healthy. He's had that playing time now. He has his quarterback back. I do like Isaiah Likely over 21 and a half receiving yards. I just couldn't decide between him or Andrews.
I would tell you this, Ariel, too. I'm going to throw a shekel down on an anytime touchdown from him.
I agree.
For what you're getting for Isaiah Likely.
What are you seeing the anytime touchdown at right now? Is it
plus 260?
360?
260.
Oh, 260.
And Andrews is at 190.
Yeah,
so
it's worth it.
I think it's worth it. He will be looked for in the end zone. Between him and Hopkins, I think those are his first two targets. The first two looks he has in the end zone are DeAndre Hopkins and Isaiah Likely, probably due to sheer just size, right? Certainly isn't Zay Flowers. That's for sure. So Lamar is smart in that sense. But again, there's no reason he shouldn't have multiple opportunities tonight because we anticipate that Lamar will have the ball. You're also getting a depressed total on Lamar's rushing numbers, which I wouldn't touch just because who knows if he's going to probably take a less run approach in this game tonight. It's funny too, Ariel. I don't know. I heard from a couple of people in Baltimore that Lamar was the one who made the decision not to play last week. It wasn't the Ravens.
It wouldn't surprise me.
That he basically calls his own shot. And basically why that whole thing happened with the Ravens in the injury report, they were expecting him to play, and Lamar said at the last minute, yo, I'm out. I'm good.
Doesn't surprise me. There's a lot of weird things going on in that organization. It went from being the greatest organization to play for to recently the last 3 years have seemed like a mess. And granted, I'm not blaming that all on the front office or the coaching staff. Right. I also do blame Lamar for that.
Sure.
Lamar is a lot, but he's a star. And until he's not a star, you got to deal with a lot sometimes. I know that a lot of people are going to be trying to tease the Ravens today. Yep. It's 7.5. So a lot of people putting the Ravens in a teaser leg. Who would you tease it with?
Detroit. I'm not going to overthink this one. The Lions score about a bajillion points at home, and they're better than everyone. Like my friend says to me, if one of the guys I know in the sports betting industry, when you ask him who's the best team, and he always responds with the Lions at home are the best team in the NFL. And he's not wrong. go beat that team in Detroit. If they don't beat themselves in the NFC playoff game last year with 5 turnovers, they're playing the Eagles in Philadelphia, or they're playing that NFC championship game in Detroit, not in Philly. So I don't have any reason to think the Vikings' anemic, broken, impotent offense with J.J. McCarthy is going to pose a real threat here in this game, especially not at minus 2.5. So this was the best way I could play the Ravens tonight. I don't know a path for Miami to get to victory other than the Ravens beating themselves. Right?
Sure.
Well,
I know everybody in the chat talking about Tua throwing an interception, and here's just my counter to that. Everyone likes to talk about quarterbacks throwing interceptions mostly because they believe the quarterback is the reason for it. The problem is you need somebody on the other side to catch said football. The Ravens don't really do that. So if you want to bet INT, go for it. I know they had an interception. I think it was last week against the Bears. I
wasn't expecting you to go there with that.
But they don't catch footballs on the defensive side of the ball. Like that ship sailed with Ed Reed. And it also sailed, oh my gosh, who was it a couple of years ago? Geno Stone had a really big year for whatever reason a few years ago. But outside of that, no one picks anyone off. Maybe they force a fumble, but no one picks anyone off. So I'm just saying to tread with caution on the Tua interception. Let's go to college football. You've got something on the slate tomorrow. It's Louisiana Tech going up against Sam Houston State.
I'm kind of actually excited about this.
Oh, really? Why?
Well, so this is actually a conference that I've played a bunch this year in Conference USA. Sam Houston State, the Bearcats, and those cats are spelled with a K, which is kind of annoying. They stink, okay? They're not a good football team. They're 0-7 overall, 0-4 in conference play. Now, I've played on them twice this year in favorable spots at home, including the last time against Jacksonville State, where they were 7.5-point dog, and I actually told people to bet them outright to win the game when they were 0-5 going into those games, and they almost did. They literally took the lead, Ariel, with about, I think it was like 31 seconds left. They took a 1-point lead and somehow gave up all the yards for them to kick a game-winning field goal. Jacksonville State did, and they lost the game, but they covered the number. Here's what else is interesting about Sam Houston State. Guess what? Their defense stinks. They are really bad, particularly on the road. This is a defense that's 130th in SBS of 134 teams. They're 129th in pass defense. They're 134th of 134 teams. That would make them last in scoring defense at 38.9 points per game. On the road this year, Ariel, they have given up. Are you ready? Are you counting? They have given up 41, 37, 37, and 55 when they played Texas. So they've given up 37 points. They've also lost every road game by at least 17 points or more. Not going to overthink this. Louisiana Tech over 32.5 points here. I don't know if they can cover the 17. If they don't, I tend to think they're not covering that number anyway, but I'd rather just go to an alternate market than lay 16.5 points. And there's no reason to believe that at this point, Louisiana Tech, whose offense is fairly erratic at times, but this is just a bad defense that they could take advantage of. I know this is a big number here, but we're going Louisiana Tech team total over 32.5.
I love the comment by Joe Dollar. Only a sicko's excited about this game.
Joe, I would tell you if that was the only reason I was a sicko, I'd actually be doing pretty well in life.
I think you're getting your act together, Mark. I think you're getting your act together.
I'd be the only one. Listen, I'll put you on a 3-way call, me and my mother. You'll find out how much my life is not in order.
Your mother, or are we gonna go like ex-wife?
No, we don't want to talk to her. We're gonna talk to her. Talk to the current girlfriend.
At least your sons love you. That's all that matters. As long as the kids love you.
I'm fooling the current girlfriend at this point in time for the past 6 months now, so I'm doing all right.
No, I told you got your act together, so now you got a winner. She's great. Let's go into some of these big games. I know that we've got, what is it, the cocktail party, right? Georgia, Florida, as we call it.
I'm going.
You are?
Yes,
with your girlfriend?
Yeah, she's a Florida alum, and I think she's like a.
Mark likes the Italian mama.
That's right. I told Ariel anytime she needs good Italian food, just drive out to the island. My mother will give it to her. And you want to crazy? My girlfriend's 100% Italian. Go figure. From Jersey, no less. There we go. So I'm going to the cocktail party. Very excited. First time there. Going to take in all the.
Fun. I'm jealous.
Everything else. And add one more note. Ready for this? So there's a big Halloween party on Friday night before the cocktail party because it's always the last weekend, in October. We are going as my cousin Vinny. I'm going to be Joe Pesci. She's going to be Marissa Tomei.
Oh my gosh! So you guys are really feeding into them.
No way Mark is taking Georgia. Here's what I'm doing in this game. You ready for this? And I actually kind of love this play more and more. Florida first half plus 3.5. Let's go do a quick recap. Okay, when you look at Florida and what they've done this year and the games that they have played, because guess what? Florida, their defense, for my money, is probably the second best defense in the SEC behind Texas, right? But this is a team right now that was within one score of LSU in a game that they lost 20-10, all right? They only gave up 13 points to Miami the entire 3 quarters of the game. Their offense was so anemic, though it was so bad. They were leading Texas Tech at half. They were within one score of Texas A&M, and they were leading Mississippi State. What happens to Florida every game? Because their defense is on the field for nearly 40 minutes every game because their offense stinks. They run out of gas, and they end up getting pulled away from late. What has Georgia done in their last games? Trailed to Tennessee, trailed to Alabama. Kentucky don't count. They stink. Yes, they were beating Kentucky. Trailed to Auburn, trailed to Ole Miss. If Florida has any chance in this game, any at all, they are within a field goal at halftime. Because show me the game script with that offense. I know Georgia's defense is bad. And here's the other thing, too. But, Georgia has the worst pass rush in the SEC. Dead last in sacks. The first time in Kirby's 10-year tenure at Georgia that he's been dead last in any defensive statistical category. Their pass defense is 14th. Their third down conversion percentage is 12th. This is not a good defense. If Florida has any chance, it happens early. Give me the Gators first half plus 3.5.
Oh boy. See, everyone thinks that he's a Braves homer, that he's a Georgia homer.
God, you couldn't be further from the truth.
Well, you didn't do yourself any favor with the Braves this season.
I did not. No, I was betting. I wasn't the Braves. I was betting Strider, and the dope stunk over and over.
You know who else stinks over and over again? Penn State.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that at this point in the year, if you told me week 0 that Penn State was going to go to Ohio State as 20.5-point dogs, I would have been like, what the hell happened?
Ask yourself this question. Just stop and think. Penn State season goes exactly the way it goes. But James Franklin is still the coach. Is there a world where this is a 20.5-point spread? There's no way. This is
Andrew Ayler's out.
Overreaction line. It's such an overreaction. What was the look-ahead line on this? It couldn't have been Ohio State more than 7.5, maybe 10, right?
Well, with or without Ayler.
Drew, yeah, I mean, Ayler is out. That's it. I can't. I'm not laying 20.5 with Ohio State. Period. Done. Never.
The only thing I'd have to say is, and again, everyone here in the chat, take what I say about college football with a grain of salt, but I did go to Penn State. These kids on Penn State know the season's over. You might as well try your best to give all you've got to your rival.
One game. This is your Super Bowl right here.
Yeah, this is the season. This is their whole season.
One feather in your cap that you could ruin Ohio State.
Not to say they upset them, but at least you could try to, play hard and not lose by 20.
And what really is the drop-off between Drew Aller and the next guy?
I don't know that.
Yeah, even if, let's call it 3 points, 3 to 4 points, that's still a 7-point inflation on this line. It's just, I don't think you could sit there, honestly, and bet Ohio State in this spot. I'll stay away from the game. I would only bet the Penn State plus the points, but I don't really, have a ton of faith. I've kind of tuned out on them since everything with Franklin went down. But I just know that is an insane number.
How about Oklahoma, Tennessee?
You're treating Penn State, by the way, like they're Northwestern. Like they have no business being in this.
The season's over. I guess you have to see if they have anything to play for, like Tennessee and Oklahoma. Tennessee laying 2.5.
I like Tennessee. Tennessee's defense kind of gives you a little bit of concern. But here's what happened to Oklahoma. Okay, we got found out that they played a soft ass cakewalk schedule in the beginning of the year against really poor offenses, and that's why their numbers look so good, right? I mean, Auburn's offense, Texas's offense, right? SC's offense. What happened when they finally played Ole Miss, a real offense? Ole Miss sprints out to a lead. Oklahoma can't keep up. Now I know Oklahoma came back and actually took a lead for about 4 minutes of that game, but this is the best offense that they'll face all year long, by far. Now, what's scary here is that you're asking a Tennessee defense that gave up 34 to Kentucky. Oh, my God. Oh. And they gave up 24 to UAB with Trent Dilfer. Ugh. That's how bad this defense is. I get it. But if you're asking me to bet on a team in a race to 50, I'm taking Tennessee. We're in a race to 40, I'm taking Tennessee. Night game in Knoxville, their defense doesn't have to be great. I think Oklahoma's a little bit overvalued. And if they lose this game, guess what? And both of these teams are fighting for their season, right? Third loss is essentially going to knock them out of the CFP contention. So I think the Tennessee offense rules the day here. Philip Fulmer, advantage in coaching. What did I just say? Philip Fulmer. Jesus Christ. Josh Heupel, advantage in coaching over.
It's kind of my Friday, so you could act like it's your Friday too.
Gotcha. Yeah. Over what's
NBA tonight. I know that we've got a lot of things covered, but anything in the association?
Yeah, I'm laying it. I laid it with the Spurs. I know the numbers moved to 6.5, which would give me a little bit of pause, but I got the 5.5 this morning.
Why?
Well, hey, who's the only team in the NBA to have covered every game this season, Ariel? I'll give you a guess. That'd be the Miami Heat. So what are we doing? We're playing against them. Perfect spot here against a better team with Wemby. The Spurs have proven that they can score and score at will. I understand they're 4-0 here.
Get it in front of the freight train.
It's not. I mean, come on. If I would have asked you to lay odds on which team would of their first four,
the Spurs are on a tear. The Spurs are on an absolute tear.
They are on a tear, but they haven't covered every single game this year.
No.
The Heat have. So I'm not saying that the Heat are a bad team or anything. I just they also have played Orlando and Memphis and Charlotte. Like, okay, I mean they covered against the Knicks team is supposed to be really good. So I don't know. I think the Spurs, as you said, they're a wagon right now with Wemby. It's going to be way too much for them, and I got it under 2 possessions. So give me the Spurs -5.5.
Mark Zinno, you got anything going on this weekend?
Georgia, Florida, baby. That's it. I'm not a big Halloween guy, but I'm getting dressed up for the
You told me I was going to ask you at the end of the segment, but you told me already what you guys are going to be. So that's fun.
I will send you.
I hate Halloween.
If you look at the cover of the My Cousin Vinny movie, that is what our costume is going to be like.
Jamie, Mark just said he's laying it with the Spurs tonight.
Yep, they're laying it with the Spurs. I would give a nod to Jamie. I would also give a nod to Golden State tonight. I looked really hard at them. I think that's the right side. I would lay the 2.5. When Milwaukee beat the Knicks the other night, the Knicks were leading 103-101 with 7 minutes left and then scored 8 points the rest of the game. 8. And my guess is if they lose that game, this is a different line for Golden State. In a one possession at 2.5 this morning, I think it might be 3.5 now. I think Golden State beats his team handily. So that's the other one I looked at. But I will send you a picture when we get the costume together. It's spot on. She nailed the Marissa Tomei. Nailed it. I've already seen it.
I can't wait to see pictures. Everyone check him out at Mark Zinno and go follow him. I think you're right. Are you just Mark Zinno?
Mark Zinno, MarkZinno. Can't get it wrong.
Yeah, Mark Zinno on X. Check it out. He'll post his Halloween costume. I will not because I don't dress up for Halloween. Thanks as always for coming on and good luck to those bets tonight.
Enjoy your trip. Be safe over there.
Thank you. And just so everyone knows in the chat, I know I effed up and should have gone to Miami tonight, then gone to Aruba tomorrow. I am fully aware that Dad and I effed up. We figured it out about 2 months ago that we effed this up. So I get it. So we don't need to tell me in the chat that I messed this up. I got it. But anyway, I'll be watching here in my parents' house. At least I'll be here with my dad. We'll be rooting for the Ravens at 2-5, as if I never gave up on them, because I never really did in my heart, just in my brain. Coming up now, I'm going to speak to this guy for like the first time, not via text message. I'm very excited because I love when I have mutual friends with people because it doesn't feel like they're strangers when I get told by sharp friends of mine, great handicappers who I trust. I know that I could trust this guy coming on the show to bring us some good action on the ponies. And I only say ponies. I just love ponies, but I don't know how to bet them. So let's bring him on. Colin Sheehan joining the show. Hi, Colin. Do you hear me?
Ariel, thanks so much for having me. That's a big entrance that I have to lead up to.
No pressure at all. The chat's just been really excited about having someone on to talk Breeders' Cup. I had to get you on. I know I told the chat 3 weeks ago. I'm like, he's coming. We'll get him before I go to Aruba. No worries at all. Colin, just before we get started, tell people a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Been handicapping basically my whole life. Grew up just outside of Boston. I'm 1 mile from the previous Suffolk Downs. I make a yearly trip up to Saratoga every year. And a few years ago, ran in and started working with Sammy P, your friend. And Sammy found out that I was into horse racing. And he said, hey, why don't you come on chicken dinner and do some horse racing? And I said, well, I don't know if I'm comfortable doing that. And suddenly a fire was lit underneath me to start putting out there publicly. You know, you're nervous when you start to do that because you don't know the feedback that you're going to get from people. And Sammy said, it doesn't matter. Just go out and do it and have fun. I work in television, so I've been able to combine my skill sets working in TV with my love for horse racing, and joined Trust the Profits over on our YouTube, have a weekly show called Doubling Down, where we put together daily double tickets every week to try and find winners in 2 races consecutively and turn those into winners. Me and my co-host Vinny have we're positive ROI for the entire year. We're entering November, so we have a challenge to try and keep that on the positive side. So the nerves are coming in as we look at Breeders' Cup, which is the 2 best days of racing of the year for sure.
So 2 best days of racing in the year. And I feel like it kind of takes a back seat sometimes to like a Kentucky Derby, right? Like there's so much hype that goes into the Kentucky Derby, but yet the Breeders' Cup is so big. Explain the series of events throughout the weekend and what time and when people should really be zoned in for that big race.
Yeah, so the Breeders' Cup, consider it like your Super Bowl, your World Series, except it's not just the United States, or in the case of the World Series, North America. It truly is a world championship. And the great thing about it is that you have the world championship of basically each division. So on Friday, you're going to see a lot of the 2-year-olds. You're going to see 2-year-olds on dirt, 2-year-olds on turf. You're going to see 2-year-olds going long on the turf, 2-year-olds going long on the dirt. And that is what they've built up around Friday. So keep in mind that in the Kentucky Derby, it's the 3-year-olds. So the Breeders' Cup Juvenile that runs on Friday for the 2-year-olds is very much going to be some of the horses that you're going to follow into the Triple Crown of next year. Saturday, you get the same thing, only it's for the older horses, 3-year-olds and up, headlined by the Breeders' Cup Classic, which they have not made the last race, which is kind of a bummer. Usually you want to put the last race, your most marquee event, at the end of the day, and they've kind of stuck it a little bit in the middle, which makes it a little bit weird. As far as timing is concerned, I have 2 little kids, and for the first time in a long time, I'll be dressing up for Halloween with them. So tomorrow is going to be a bummer for me. As
you're going to be a pony?
That's a good one, right? No, I'm going to be the Scarecrow. We're going to do a Family of the Wizard of Oz. So you can follow me on X and see I bought like the official Scarecrow costume. So we're not going to ham and egg it this year. So we're going to look pretty good.
I love that. So those are the series of events this weekend. And I know that there has been a lot of highly anticipated action this weekend. What makes this year's Classic so anticipated?
Well, we lost a little bit of that luster in the last 24 hours when Sovereignty, your 3-year-old champ, the horse that we've been so excited about. I've ridden the coattails of Sovereignty into my podcast Getting Bigger, to put in my show on Nessa Nation, because he was my horse starting at the beginning of the year. And he came out, won the Derby 10-1, came back, won the Belmont, won the Jim Dandy, went up to Saratoga, won the Travers, and has really mopped up the 3-year-old crop. The thing that was really exciting going into the Breeders' Cup Classic was this is going to be the opportunity to see Sovereignty run against the older horses. Some horses such as Fierceness, who you might remember, and Sierra Leone, who won the Breeders' Cup Classic last year. Forever Young, who's coming back over from Japan. Journalism and Baeza were other horses that you probably recognize from your coverage if you watched the Triple Crown races this year. And so Sovereignty getting the matchup versus some of those older horses. And for once, you get kind of a field that has talented older horses coming into it. Losing Sovereignty was just a real big bummer as far as what the race could have been. I think everybody wanted to see how Sovereignty matched up against those horses of that caliber. It's still a great field. You still got Fierceness, Forever Young, who I mentioned, the 3-year-olds, Mindframe, who his jockey fell off last time. So it'll be interested to see what true progression he's made in his career, to see if he can come in at a price. And Sovereignty being out of the race has also shifted some of the odds. So if you were a fan of Sovereignty, as I was, the the price on some of these other horses, such as Fierceness, is now down to 5-2. Forever Young is a horse I really liked at 6-1 or 7-1. He's now 7-2. So some of these horses that you were hoping to get value on because Sovereignty was in the race has now really changed that complexion as well. But that race goes off on Saturday, and even without Sovereignty, it's still a terrific race.
Well, even without Sovereignty, then what is our betting approach for this race?
So for this one, and anybody that's followed me over on Trust the Profits or Chicken Dinner, Sammy P has always given me so much of a. Prior to this year, when I wasn't picking Sovereignty, I kept saying Japan's going to win a Derby. Japan's going to win a Derby because Japan had a big, huge Breeders' Cup a few years ago. Last year, they went over. And Forever Young was a horse last year from Japan who I was really high on and was my pick in the Kentucky Derby. He ended up finishing third, and he ran really solid. He ran again in the Breeders' Cup Classic last year, finishing third again. But last year, he got the rail. He was the number one hole. And I think he was a little bit uncomfortable in that Breeders' Cup Classic. Immediately was kind of shuffled a little bit as they passed the stands for the first time. But when they came around for the finish line, he was closing nicely to finish third in that race as well. Forever Young, to me, I'm not crazy about the price now that Sovereignty's out. He's dropped to 7-2. Like I said, I loved him at 5-1 and 6-1. I think he's a really talented horse. He hasn't let me down. So at least when I picked Derma Sotogake on Sammy P's podcast 3 years ago, he did not make me look very smart, and Sammy was able to rag on me a little bit. Forever Young has at least backed it up and has had some really big performances around the world, including a huge run in the Saudi Cup earlier this year with a huge speed figure. So we're still 48 hours away from the big race, so I'll change my mind probably 10 or 15 times, but I think I'll probably be focusing a little bit around Forever Young. Mind Frame's another horse. He's the number 8. He's at 6-1. He's trained and he's owned by the same owner as Fierceness, so it's interesting that both of them come into this race. If Fierceness runs his race, he's going to be really hard to beat. He's your 5-2 favorite right now. The thing about Fierceness is that there are races in his past performances that make you question, is he going to run his biggest race? I was big on him in the Whitney Day, and he didn't show up. Then he came back in the Pacific Classic, which was at Del Mar, had the rail, had some trouble in that race. I think there was a little bit of a storyline that if Fierceness had trouble, he's going to kind of fold and not be there for you. He overcame that trouble in the Pacific Classic, and that has a lot of people thinking that that's behind him now, and he runs his race, he's going to win it. He's back in on the rail. The trainer said the only thing I don't want is the one hole. Well, Fierceness drew the one hole, so he's going to have to not have that trouble that he did in the last race. And now Forever Young doesn't have that rail like I said he had last year. Now he's in the 5 spot right in the middle. I think he's going to be able to track off some horses, and he would be one that I'm probably going to be building, at least for the Classic, my tickets around.
Mark wants to know, are you counting Beza and Journalism out?
I am. I think Sovereignty was your best 3-year-old. I think he had the best shot against the older horses. If you want to take one of them, I think Journalism is going to take a lot of money for his West Coast bias. I think his performance in the Preakness was one that was just absolutely unbelievable. Go back and watch our live stream when Riders Up Tim called another horse. He's like, oh, Goskar's won. And I'm like, hold on, Journalism's coming. And that was one of the most exciting races of the year. I'd be interested in Baeza in this spot. I think we don't know that we've seen the best of him yet, but I just don't think they're as good as the older crop. And that's something to take in mind when you have the 3-year-olds going against the 4 and the 5-year-olds. So for me, I'm going to draw out the 3-year-olds now that Sovereignty's not in the race.
Outside of this main race, and we could include long shots if you haven't mentioned them yet for this race, but just throughout the weekend, who are you going to be looking at long shots wise?
Yeah, I think the sprints are a good place to start. Over the last 5 years, I pulled the numbers to figure out where do the prices come in. And it tends to be in the sprint, and specifically the turf sprint, which is Saturday race 5. Over the last 5 years, the average win has been $24 or 11, 12 to 1. And the sprint, which is the next race, Saturday race 6, has an average win of $10. You can put those races back to back. And my strategy over the weekend is to play rolling pick 3s. So pick 3 means you have to hit 3 races in a row, and you can put multiple horses on your ticket. It's just going to increase the cost of your ticket. Don't try to go into Breeders' Cup weekend just betting against all the favorites. I've learned through my years of wisdom that although you might get that one big long shot, you're going to just end up, spinning your wheels. You got to kind of be strategic. And what you do with these favorites in the races that you have a strong opinion on, is look at the other races on the other sides of them and try to put together a pick three. So for example, on Saturday, how I just talked about the turf sprint, and the sprint might be a place to make some money. Race 4 is a horse by the name of Sweet Azteca, who is 2-1. And I think that she looks very strong in the filly and mare sprint. You can go into race 5 then and look at a couple horses I have 3 horses that I like at 4-1, 5-1, and 12-1. The number 8, AG Bullet, is 4-1, has Johnny Velasquez aboard. If you want to just pick jockeys, Johnny Velasquez is basically, I was going through making my picks, and it's like, oh, Johnny Velasquez is aboard again. Oh, Johnny Velasquez is aboard again. So if you take anything from this segment and you don't watch horse racing a lot, if you see Johnny Velasquez as the jockey, you could probably say, I bet Colin likes this horse, because that's pretty much where my tickets have gone. The number 5, Bring the Band Home. He had 2 huge races up at Saratoga this year, going 5.5 furlongs, including an Equibase speed figure of 124, which jumps off the paper to me. And then Arizona Blaze, the number 3. The jockey chose him over Bucano Fuerte. He was second in the Commonwealth at Ascot. He's a grade Group 1 and Group 2 winner at 5 furlongs over in Ireland. You have to pay attention to the horses coming overseas on the turf particularly. So I think you use a little Sweet Azteca with the 3-5-8 in race 5. And then race 6, there's some other horses that I like in there as well. Number 10 is going to be your favorite. I think he has an opportunity to bounce. He looks really strong if he runs his race, but he took a long break, came back, put up one of his career bests. And to me, that's always expecting a little bit of a letdown in his next race. So in there, I'm going with the 3, 7, and the 12. The 3's name is Lovesick Blues, who's going turf. He had a really nice performance switching from turf to dirt. Number 7, Imagination. He's a horse I really thought was talented last year. Maybe a little bit worried about the bench, but you're getting Bob Baffert and Juan Hernandez aboard. He had an easy win at Santa Anita last time out. And your number 12, Straight No Chaser, at 8-1 is your defending champ of the race. So when you're getting a defending champ at 8-1, hard to walk away from that. And guess who's aboard? Johnny Velasquez. So there's a nice little pick 3 for you on Saturday, race 4, race 5, and race 6. Then what you can do is take race 5 and race 6, take those races where I think there's going to be a long shot, and look at the distaff where you've got a horse by the name of Darth Vader, who's at a nice price of 5-1 for all you Star Wars fans. Got to the Del Mar track early in order to get a work under his belt there. His race up at Saratoga stood out to me last time, battling in the stretch with Torpedo Anna. We all know that filly's name. Maybe that's how you start to put together these pick 3s. And if you could just get one of those, you're going to have a pretty nice payout that will hopefully cover your weekend.
David Fink said, Colin, give out your double.
Ooh, you got to watch Doubling Down then to give out my double, right? There's a lot of them.
Watch on YouTube, I assume, right?
You can watch us on YouTube. The cool thing that we started a few months ago is a Doubling Down tournament with an app that we put together. It's free. You can come play along with us. We break down a daily double each week, and you put your picks into the app. We have a leaderboard that updates. And this month's prize is credit for horsetourneys.com. So if you're a tournament player, which is another way to play this game, there's so many ways to get involved with horse racing that I think people miss out on a little bit. So yeah, you can fire up your phone and just start betting horses to win and hope you kind of catch something. And a lot of people probably walk away frustrated saying, I hate horse racing because I can never figure it out. It is a puzzle that I love putting together. My wife reads books. I read past performances to try to figure out who's going to win the races. And the tournament play is something that is very attractive to people. So we thank Horse Tourneys for supporting us this month. And there's still an opportunity to win. The last 2 races of the tournament are Friday's daily double and Saturday's daily double. And the winner right now is at about $50. So you can make that up easily with a couple long shots that you can put together and be a part of it. So swing on over and jump in on that. If you check out my X, I have it, the link posted there to sign up. It's free. And we have a lot of fun.
Make sure to check him out, Colin Sheehan, over at CSHEEHAN 45. That's C Sheehan 45. Thank you so much for coming on, and check out that podcast and his YouTube page, because that's going to be so helpful for everybody who's still trying to get some action down. And I assume that you guys are going to do a little bit more of updated shows, videos as we get closer.
Of course, we got my Doubling Down show will come out tomorrow. The other guys are doing live streams. Like I said, it being on Halloween is a little bit of a letdown for me. We'll try to get they'll be live Friday and Saturday. So the great thing about us is we Don't judge anybody. We all want to win together. We're happy if you win. We hope you're happy if we win. And it's a great place to come and hang out. If you want to watch the pageantry, you can put on NBC and watch the stars and the fancy dresses. If you want to get down and dirty and ask some great questions and have a lot of fun, then our live streams are a great place to do that. And you can ask questions, because I know this is you said I have no idea about the ponies, right? It can be daunting to try and get involved and try to understand it. So it's a perfect place for you to come over, jump in the chat. Your chat's lighting up. I'm impressed with how many people and how much involvement
we've got a really good chat.
They're awesome in there. And we'd like to try to create that same environment as well. And no one will talk down to you. Ask as simple of a question as you want, and we'll do our best to help you out.
See, at least they're nice over there. Sometimes I do talk down to people in the chat, but sometimes they deserve it. But they are a lot of fun, and we've got some really good loyalists. We've lost some people because they dish it and they can't take it. But outside of that, we've got a pretty loyal, good chat that's always here every day. And we appreciate you so much for coming on because, again, Colin, I literally needed all the help that I could get on this. And you clarified a lot of different things, especially with sovereignty out. So I'm glad that we caught you when we did. Colin Sheehan, thank you so much and good luck this weekend.
Hey, you have fun in Aruba. It's one of my favorite places to go.
It's the best place in the world. Thanks so much, Colin.
Take care.
We got to get the prop queen edges of the day for Thursday Night Football, and I'll give you my strikeout prop for tomorrow in the World Series. So let's get to Ravens and Dolphins. I haven't even gotten to send out a newsletter yet because this travel day was absolutely exhausting, and I still have to write the newsletter, and I still have to write newsletters for this weekend. Tua Tagovailoa against the spread as an underdog of 6 or more points is 6-0-1 against the spread as a big dog, just so you know. 99% of money is on Jalen Waddle over 62.5 receiving yards. That's not great. Lamar is the most bet on player to score a touchdown in Thursday Night Football. Then we've got the top 5 most bet on props of the day. So let's get to some more propaganda. Jalen Waddle over 62.5 receiving yards. Keaton Mitchell over 10.5 rushing yards. Devon Achane under 13.5 rush attempts. Derrick Henry over 19.5 yards for his longest rush. And Lamar Jackson over 33.5 rushing yards. So I'll tell you about Derrick Henry. I was looking at him in prime time. Terrible numbers. Terrible primetime numbers. I am staying far away from Derrick Henry. So everyone thinks he's going to have the longest rush. So I'm going to go Lamar Jackson over longest rush. 15.5 yards. I'm not going total rushing yards. I know it's a lower number. I'm just expecting Lamar to break one big one. So Lamar has gone over 15.5 rushing yards for his longest rush. 7 of his last 10 primetime games, 8 of those 10 were on the road. Miami, 9th most rushing yards per game allowed to quarterbacks this year. 71% of quarterbacks have gone over their longest rush prop against the Dolphins. So Lamar over 15.5 yards for his longest rush is my favorite Lamar prop tonight. Isaiah Likely, as Mark Zinno said, I do like him over his receiving yards. He had 42 and 43 receiving yards in his career against Miami. 7 of the last 9 primetime road games with Lamar. Likely averaged 52 receiving yards per game. Miami. Oh, I forgot to tweet. Damn it. I should have tweeted out that I'm talking about all this. Hold on one second. Let me tweet out that I'm talking about prop queen edges for TNF. Because everyone was like, oh, I want to know your prop queen edges. Prop queen edges for TNF now. Damn. Sorry. Well, if anyone's just tuning in, you can check out the YouTube page. It's all on the YouTube page, and you can see all the prop queen edges of the day. Anyway, Isaiah Likely, over 21.5 receiving yards, 42 and 43 against Miami, 7 of the last 9 road primetime games, 52 receiving yards a game with Lamar. Miami's 7th most receiving yards per game allowed to tight ends. And he hasn't had a big game yet, Likely, since returning from injury. This is the prime time spot. You know who else is good in prime time for the Ravens? Rashad Bateman. He has scored in 6 of the last 7 primetime games for the Ravens when Lamar is under center. So I'm going Bateman anytime TD. Rasul Douglas over 4.5 total tackles is at even money. I bet it. Well, at least I bet it at even money today. He had over in 7 of the last 10 primetime games, and he was a Buffalo Bill for the last couple of years, Rasul Douglas, where he faced said Baltimore Ravens and had 6 and 7 total tackles against the Ravens against the when he was in Buffalo. So he's familiar with this Ravens recent offensive scheme, and he knows how to tackle the Ravens. Clearly, 6 and 7 in the last 2. I looked at Jalen Waddle. I know everybody's on his receiving yards, so I would probably go to longest reception. He's gone over in 3 of the last 5 primetime games with Tua. The Ravens always blow coverage somewhere, so I would look that direction. But I'm going more defensive prop for the Dolphins because I think the Ravens can find a way to keep themselves on the field offensively. So this way it keeps the Miami defense on the field, which means more tackles for Miami and more offensive possessions for the Ravens. Believe Lamar is not going to throw, so taking under completions and attempts. Okay, good luck with that against this Miami defense. Mark Andrews touchdown reception odds. They were like plus 190. Isaiah Likely was like plus 260. Andrews definitely gets more of those red zone targets. That's why I'm going yardage for Isaiah Likely. I'm going Bateman, though, anytime TD. Someone else told me that they like Zay Flowers anytime TD because he's also a Miami, Florida boy. But remember, Lamar is a Miami guy. Lamar like grew up from around there. This is a homecoming for him. He clearly wanted to play today more than Sunday. Hence, obviously, it's a short week. Didn't want to go on a short week, but this game means something to Lamar. Anytime Lamar plays the Dolphins, he lights them up. Win or lose, when they've lost, it's been because they were up by 20 and they blew another lead. Lamar loves to beat Miami. It is going to be in front of a lot of friends and family for him. This is a big game to Lamar, hence why he didn't want to bang himself up on Sunday and plan a short week. He wanted to be healthy and ready to go to face Miami today. So I like Likely. I like Bateman touchdown. I like Lamar to go over his longest rush, and I like Russell Douglas to go over his total tackles tonight in this Ravens and Dolphins game. And lastly, I'm going to a strikeout prop in Major League Baseball. We've got the World Series tomorrow, Game 6, Toronto Blue Jays, minus 150-ish on the road. Oh, excuse me. Dodgers minus 150-ish on the road facing the Blue Jays in Toronto. I'm going under on the Yamamoto strikeouts. It was 6.5. I bet it already this morning. Yamamoto under 6.5 Ks. I know that he's had back-to-back great days going over this. He had 7 against Milwaukee and 11 against Toronto. He threw a complete game against the Jays. The Jays very, very rarely strike out. They've averaged just under 4 strikeouts a game this year. To get the same team twice in a row in the same week is tough. Yamamoto hasn't had to do that yet this postseason. Nonetheless, he's on the road now in a potential elimination game. If Yamamoto gets into any trouble, he's getting pulled. I know they don't want to, and I know that has not been manager of the Dodgers, Dave Roberts' tendency to pull anybody and go to the bullpen because it's been unreliable. It's an elimination game. Yamamoto's leash very short if he gets into trouble. Again, the Jays just don't strike out a lot. Second time through, seeing him again. Now he's on the road. Again. And again, you can't look at the Brewers. The Brewers strike out a lot more than Toronto. So we're going under 6.5 Ks for Yoshinobu Yamamoto tomorrow in Game 6. Do I get to watch the game once I get to the island? Which game? I leave tomorrow, not today. So I'm watching the Ravens game tonight at my parents' house. Then tomorrow I travel. But whatever. It's a the World Series I could watch. I'm in the casino at night. Like, I'm always in the casino at night. So the games are always on. In fact, fun story. You guys remember the year that the Braves won? So the worst part about that is I could have gotten the Braves even better midseason when Acuna went down with the torn Achilles. I had the Braves at 10-1 preseason to win the World Series. It was the first time that I had a preseason World Series ticket that cashed. But I was sitting in the Marriott casino playing blackjack to distract myself because I was nervous about this 10-1 ticket, which again, I was still a little disappointed because when Acuna went down midseason, I could have gotten them at like 25-1, but whatever, it's fine. 10-1. I got them and I cashed. So that's the time that I cashed a preseason Super Bowl or World Series of some kind of ticket, championship ticket in Aruba. She's right at the winter meetings. See what the Yankees will do. Oh, please. The Yankees are going to wait for Garrett Cole to come back, and that's going to be what they'll be excited about. I'm not excited about baseball season yet. I'm not excited yet. Got to wait to see what the Ravens do first and when they disappoint me. Like, what round are the Ravens going to disappoint me in? Because we know what's going to happen. The Ravens are going to make this a big comeback. They're going to end up winning the division. They're going to make the playoffs. They're finally going to get me to buy in, and then they're going to lose in the AFC Championship game. But if they lose to the Chiefs, I'm going to be pissed. They got to lose to someone else. Just not the Chiefs. Just don't lose to the Chiefs. I don't care. Lose to the Bills. I don't care. Don't lose to the Chiefs. Can't do it again. Can't. That's what I'm ready for. I'm ready for the Ravens tonight. I'm ready to watch Lamar play again. I felt like my season was ripped out from under me and over, and now I feel a little bit revived. Go Ravens. Go Lamar. Over 15.5 yards, longest rush is my best bet of the day. Royal lock of the day. Lamar, over 15.5 yards, longest rush. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I got to go write this newsletter now because I didn't get the chance to do it today, unfortunately. For anyone who subscribes to the PropQueen.com newsletter, and who, if you don't, I am giving 25% off this month because I'm not going to do a newsletter next week because I'm going to be in Aruba. I might do NFL props, so I'll let you know. But I'm giving 25% off for premium subscribers because it's going to be like, I'm going to do the rest of the month. So I'm giving 25% off if you would like to subscribe and just see what it's all about at thepropqueen.com. For the premium subscribers, 25% off this month since I will be MIA, but not in MIA because Dad and I screwed up and we should have been in MIA tonight watching the Ravens and then going to Aruba tomorrow, but we didn't. So we're here in New York, in rainy, disgusting, gross New York today while my hair is a mess because I got caught in the rain trying to catch an Uber with Marley. It's fine. We made it in time for the show. Everybody came on. Mark Zinno came on. And we got some really good ponies, really good pony action today. So I'm really happy about that with Colin Sheehan. So if you missed any of it, you could go and subscribe to the Prop Queen Sports YouTube page over on YouTube and obviously on YouTube. And you can see the segments for yourself in case you want to get any insights on the Breeders' Cup coming up this weekend. Good luck to all your bets, everybody. And I will, oh my gosh, I will see you guys in a week. I'll see you. So just so everyone knows, Mid-Major Matt is going to be hosting tomorrow and Monday. Tom Vecchio is going to host next Thursday and Friday. This way you guys get all the football action that you need. And then I will be back the following, like a week from this coming Monday. I'll be back a week from Monday on the show, doing it live from Aruba. I get red. I don't really get tan. But after the second week, I might be tan. So we'll see. I hope I get tan this time. Thanks, guys. Good luck to all those bets. Go Ravens. I will see you in a little more than a week. And enjoy Mid-Major Matt and Tom Vecchio.